welcome to another episode of Stagey Live. I'm your host, David Muscat. Let's get it rocking and rolling. And have a look at tonight's guests.
Coming up on tonight's show, Nathaniel Martello-White tells his story. Our very own Philip Joel speaks to Pineapple Dance Studios. And director-choreographer of many Western shows and tours, Racky, Plews. And star of several Broadway shows, including original cast of Hamilton, Ariana, DeBose. And don't forget our Stagey Challenge, hosted by Simon Ray Harvey and Molly Roberts. Ooh, time for the first interview.
I've got a very special guest with me today. Please put your hands together for Nathaniel Martello-White. See that? Everyone out there doing a bit of that.
He's a British actor, performed with the Royal Shakespeare Company and the National and the OB.
Thanks for coming on the show, mate. Take us back to the very beginning. Now, in 33 words.
33 words.
Yeah, 33 words. Let me know the story of Nathaniel. Go.
From acting or from
the beginning?
From the beginning of acting or
From
from
the
the
very,
beginning
very,
of life?
yeah.
So grew up in Brixton.
Yeah.
South London boy. And kind of grew up in a very heated 90s, 80s and 90s in South London. You know, lots of macho kind of lads bobbing around. And I guess I always wanted a kind of sense of escapism. Always felt like I was slightly at odds with the majority. And my mum enrolled me into a few classes, tap dance, I'll say it, jazz.
There you go.
I'll say it, you know.
Can you still do a time step?
Yes, I can actually. Yes,
wow,
I can.
There we go.
Yes, I can. That'll be the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then from that, then I gave it all up. To be fair, when I was about 10, started playing football.
Yeah.
I'm football obsessed, you know, and so I kind of was taking the football seriously, but was quite a skinny lad. So, you know, at the time it was just too tough. They wanted big lads, you know, and strong. So I gave up the football. It was only when I got back in, when I went to college, a friend of mine said, you should check out the National Youth Theatre. And I was like, what's that? He was like, well, you know, it's like from 16 to 18 you can go and you do plays in professional theatres and you meet a whole load of people outside of your borough. So yeah, so I joined the National Youth Theatre, auditioned, got in, so that was cool. And that was when I really was like, yeah, maybe this is something I could do for a living.
Wait a second, did he say football?
Football side of the
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Who do you barrack for?
Man United.
Man United.
Man United.
Oh, Man City.
It's a long story.
This is the problem.
Maybe we should just...
After 23 minutes in a very heated debate, the boys finally patched things up and gave each other a man hug.
Yeah, side of the fence. What was one of your first professional jobs?
First professional job was Trial and Retribution on ITV. Yeah. So that was interesting.
And what was it like when you got the call saying that you got that job?
I mean, I was in my last year at drama school. I mean, even the drama school things, I'll quickly tell you about that because I did a year at Drama Centre. Yeah. Because I left college at 18 and got straight into Drama Centre, but I didn't get into RADA or any of the other ones. And so I did a year at Drama Centre and it was a bit like pretty full on, pretty method. We were like, drama school was in this old church, rickety church. In a way, in hindsight, it was I kind of loved it in hindsight, but I think I was like, need to go to RADA, you know, need to go to a place where when I graduate, it's going to give me the best chance of having a career. And so I left Drama Centre, re-auditioned at RADA, got in the second time. And and then, you know, drama school wasn't quite straightforward. I think at RADA, they want you to leave who you are at the door and become a kind of neutral actor.
So someone malleable.
Exactly. Which in the long run, that's great. But I think in the short run, it's a lot more difficult because you have to get back to your own, you know, personality, basically. So anyway, my third year after I signed with an agent, I auditioned for Trial and Retribution and got the call just as I was leaving. So
what was it like then using those skills?
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I was quite green when I left drama school. The naivety of me was because I bagged that TV job before I left. I just presumed that I was going to go on just bagging loads of work like that. But then I had a little bit of a lull. I needed to sort myself out, you know. I was still smoking, drinking, and just, you know, so I needed to just sort my shit out.
Yeah.
Can I say that shit?
Yeah.
And
why the shit not?
Yeah, why the shit not?
Why the shit not mugs now available online.
Obviously out there's going to be either people that enjoy theatre or also people that are actors and performers like us, and they all might be at various stages in their careers. Let's go back to the time where you did have that lull.
Yeah.
What sort of, how did that, what did you do in between getting that first big job, or the first few, and how did you manage?
Well, to be honest, the way I look at it now, I think it's all about life management. So what I realized I had to do was diversify. I've always been a writer, you see, and I used to be a performance poet before I started drama school. So I started writing scripts, and nobody was paying me to write the scripts. I was writing them on spec. But what started to happen was in my free time, I had this other creative outlet, and then I started to get quite good at writing. And then, also I got a job at my old drama school as a runner, so I'd help out with auditions. I did a little bit of voiceovers, so I effectively had about 4 jobs to keep the wolf at bay. And then a big turning moment was getting a play that I'd written programmed at the Young Vic after I performed there. And I think I wrote a play called Blackter, which is like a dark comedy about black actors struggling and the small, the kind of crabs in a bucket type analogy. And that was a real turning point for me.
For everyone that's out there, what would you give as a piece of advice?
So I would find another skill around your skill and diversify. And I think in the long run, it makes you less dependent on your acting.
Sure.
So you start to enjoy your acting more, less pressure to get auditions, you end up getting them. So, I would say take the pressure off your acting so that you can enjoy it, diversify, write, direct, produce if you can. YouTube, there are all these forums where you can make movies, you can upload content. If you get 1,000 hits, you start getting checks from advert companies, so
exactly.
There are ways. Yeah.
Well, a massive thank you for coming on today. Everyone put your hands together for Nathaniel.
Now it's time to head over to the Stagey Live Studio.
Welcome back, everyone. Now we've got a very special guest coming into the studio. She's a wonderful talent. She is multi-talented. She can work in any avenue. When it comes to theatre, both on the direction side, on the choreography side, on getting things done side. Please welcome to the stage, Racky Plews.
Director, choreographer of American Idiot, both the West End and the UK tour, and Footloose the musical, and now thoroughly Modern Millie UK tour.
Do your own class because no one else is in here to do them.
Hi.
Hey, you good?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
You're good. You a bit nervous?
A little bit.
That's nice.
I'm usually, on the other side, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is different.
Well, there we go. Look, I wanted to get you on because I know that, as you're aware, we've been using this chat show to sort of celebrate people that work in the industry, both artists and also creatives as well.
Yeah.
So I know for you, you've done some absolutely wonderful work in regards to direction and choreography and all that sort of jazz.
Thank you. How do you know that?
I just read Wikipedia, and I've had the pleasure of working with you before. So
Thanks, that's the answer I wanted.
Called you in. But the things that I wanted to sort of pick off today, because I think you are quite a major player within the industry and someone who's got a lot of raw talent to give to a lot of projects. Talk us through the beginning of time though, like way back when, maybe 80, 70, 90 years ago when you were in your early 20s.
Wow, yeah. 1927,
yeah.
that's when it started.
That's where the little Drake came from, the poof there.
It's very comfortable actually.
Yeah.
Feels, it's touchy-feely.
It's non-slip.
Oh.
Tell us about the beginning. Where did it all start for you?
Well, for me, it all started when Mummy and Daddy bought a theatre.
Yeah, as it is for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Let's be serious.
Yeah. So me and my sister had to learn how to do everything because there were no staff and it was slave labour, basically. That's how I learnt theatre. There was no choice. So my mum's a producer and my dad's a director. So there was no hope.
There's no hope. You weren't. No. I mean, was there ever a moment where you just went, I don't want to go into theatre?
Yeah, there was, but a lot of the time, I guess people go home and say, oh, Mum, Dad, I want to get into theatre, and they get kind of probably shouted at or grounded and have to go and study law, but yeah, it was totally the opposite.
Mum, I want to be a physical engineer.
Yeah, right? No, there was no chance. So I got sent off to a stage school at 11.
What stage school?
Sylvia Young Theatre School.
Sylvia Young Theatre School.
Very good. Yeah. And then I went to arts educational.
Mm.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Yeah, it was great. I spent 8 years of my life there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was that because you kept never passing? Or?
Yeah, that was it.
I thought you were supposed to spend like 3 years there.
Yeah, but I did the school bit as well. So,
right.
yeah, did GCSEs there and A-levels and, yeah. A-levels? Didn't do A-levels. Just made that bit up.
That's all right, mate. That's all right. Just make it up.
Just edit that bit out. Anyway, yes.
What was you know, because I know that you've obviously your family have run the theatre there, and you got to work with them a lot. Now,
Yeah.
do you find that you sort of honed your skills on their shows?
Yeah, absolutely. The theatre has visiting and touring companies to it, so you get to see how to do it and how not to do it. Which is really important because I think it's shaped me into the kind of director that I aspire to be.
And who's been your inspirations to be, because I know that you can work both sides of many coins, but as far as the direction side of the fence, who's been an inspiration?
Well, obviously, you know, I've had my dad to look up to this whole time, and I've learned from him and then learning from other people that have come and visited in the theatre. And I think then just going out and assisting and being in things as well, you get to pick up on how other people work. There are so many people out there who have inspired me in different ways. But I guess I think when I made the choice to leave my parents' theatre just to see if I could do it, and it wasn't nepotism. And
That's a very big word.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done for getting that out.
I practiced that. And people seem to keep employing me and hiring me, so that's given me the confidence to carry on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and would you say that you've got a specific style when it comes to direction? Because my observation would be, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my observation would be someone who has a clear idea of the boundaries of something, whether it be a scene or a show, like you have a clear idea of what you want to happen in it, but you let your actors sort of play within those boundaries.
Yeah.
Is that an accurate sort of...
I would say so. I'd like to create a safe playground. And I think I'm quite visual as well. That's probably coming from the choreographer side and the dance background. But everything, I love storytelling. It has to come from a truthful place. I love the comedy, which, you're not too bad at it.
Yeah. And how do you find, because I mean, obviously within the industry there's a wonderful array of people. Do you have any challenges with, as a director, I would assume one of the difficult parts, I mean, it's like being a football manager. I know half of the audience have just fallen asleep by the fact that I've just said football. But it's like a football manager. He has to manage the talent that he's got within his team, and they're all got different personalities. Is that an aspect of the role of being a director?
Yeah, and I love that about being a director, finding out how different people work. I think as much as I have to find out how people work, I think to remind the cast that people need to remember how to work out how creatives work as well, because we're all different, and some people want to be told take 2 steps and stand there and then take 3 steps on that line. But if that's not the kind of director you are, you need to be able to adapt your skills to that as well. But I really find that out in an audition. I really find that out in an audition. Oh my God, I can't say that.
You really find that out in an
audition.
In a magician.
In a magician. I find it out in a magician.
Who doesn't?
On non-slip.
Yeah.
I find it out in an audition.
Brilliant, well done.
Yes, I said it.
For many of the viewers out there who might be interested in getting into direction or even choreography or anything like that, how would you sort of frame up some best advice?
Wow. You've got to be committed.
Because it's a hard road. Being an actor is a hard road, but
I know that I know people fell asleep when you compared it to football, but sometimes I do think it's like that. Being a manager, you see people being stressed at the sidelines, and it is a very stressful job. I just wish we were paid as much as the football managers.
Yeah, it would be lovely.
Yeah, right.
I just wish we was paid.
Yeah.
Well,
one day,
hopefully.
Were you in Billy Elliot, by the way?
Just vaguely.
Thought I recognised you. Yes.
And what about from an actor's perspective? So someone who's potentially going to come up and audition for you in the future.
So I've just noticed you've got no questions. This is very good. You just
I know this is me off the cuff.
I know this is.
Everyone else, I've written down stuff, but for you, I haven't had to worry about it.
Is that because my name wasn't on the list outside because you forgot I was coming?
Probably, yeah. It's because I didn't realise that you were coming. But it's okay. No, but you will find out in a second that I did remember. But bringing it back, for any performers out there, any actors or actresses that are potentially going to audition for you in the future, what do you look for in an audition?
In an audition, someone who knows the piece, someone who's done their research. Dressing the part always helps a little bit. Maybe that's a bit old school, but...
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What, is it old school or is it...
So what if I'm auditioning for like, let's say Babe, the musical? Do I have to come in dressed as a pig? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. A gold pig suit if you have it.
No, but I think it is important. Yeah, having you got to look presentable.
Presentable. Something in the style of, and be polite. And if you get the chance to be able to sit on an audition panel, go and do it, because I learned when I was performing, I learned so much doing that, because it's down to so many different things, and people come out of an audition and who are talented and don't get the job, and people think it's because they're not talented or why didn't I get that? But sometimes it can be down to height. Sometimes it can be down to so many different things, and as soon as you've seen it from the other side, you get it, you understand.
Now I did know that you were coming on today, because I've specifically brought, I don't know if you've clocked this already, but I've specifically brought this along. Now, does this have any relevance to you? Just gonna whack these on here.
Well, they're not ginger, so I'm not sure yet.
No, that's right. You're right. They're definitely not ginger.
To be explained another time.
So I'm going to give you that.
Oh, right. Thanks.
So do you know what this game is called?
Hook a duck.
Yes. I'm going to give you a marshmallow for every duck that you hook.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I need you to get this is your competitive side.
Oh right. Yeah.
Now, you don't know. Do you not remember when we used to do when he hooked a duck?
Oh, we did hook a duck.
Pennies dropped now, yeah?
Oh my God, we did hook a duck.
Exactly.
This is very different. The duck was a little bit bigger.
It was West End Bears, which was a little charity night
I didn't remember I was coming.
Yeah, exactly.
How many other people have you played this game with?
I haven't played anyone. I haven't played this game with anyone else.
Okay, sorry, it was West End Bears.
Yeah, we did a bit with people who were
with a duck and muskets. What?
My own duck. Right, so you've got to try and hook these. You've got 4 goes at this.
Well,
are you going to take this seriously?
I don't know. I think you should have a go as well.
All right, I'll have a go after you. Go, ready?
What? Okay, have you tried it yet?
No, I have not tested this out.
It's the game that no one ever wins at. All of the 42.5 Stagey Live cast members tried, and no one managed to hook a duck.
Right, actually, like spins and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, is this it? I just literally go and hook it.
Well, yeah, you have to be from where you are.
I am from where I am.
You can't just be.
Oh, I feel stupid now.
I mean, this.
I mean, does it get any better?
Did you pay a lot of money for this?
Yeah, £16.
Oh, thanks. Are these safe to eat?
No. No, you hooked it up. You hooked it up. Look, I just wanted to bring that up because it was about, in the past.
Shit,
but you obviously forgot.
Do you know what? I think this would make it better.
What?
I think you should lie on the table. I think we should put one of these over your private part.
No, that's just not.
What? What do
No,
you say, audience? Yes. Do you say yes?
We don't have the rating for that. Now listen, I'm going to have a shot of this. I'm just going to have a crack and see if it works. Can you? No.
Oh, I see. You meant to fly fish it.
I was thinking that might be the case. But just when I saw it, I thought of you. I thought of all the time that we spent, working out that little number. But it was a good evening.
Hey! The new skill.
That's how you do it.
That's very good.
Right,
okay.
now I'm going to give you one more shot.
No, I think, where can we put this?
I don't think we can put that anywhere else where you're thinking about putting it. Brilliant. Everyone, put your hands together for the wonderful Racky Plews.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, make your own noise. Were you and Billy Elliot?
We sent the wonderfully talented Philip Joel, West End choreographer and dance person of the year, to visit Pineapple Dance Studio.
I need a drink. What if the coffee does the second? Oh, it's like a warm-up in itself. It's like climbing Kilimanjaro. Whoop! darling. Do you know what? This is the closest I'll ever get to Mamma Mia. Always get cut first round. Always get cut. Hi guys, it's Philip Joel here from Stagey Live, and today we are at the world famous Pineapple Dance Studios in Covent Garden with Giles, who we're going to have a little chat with today. So welcome, Giles.
Hi, thank you.
So just to start off with, can you kind of tell us the history of Pineapple Dance Studios?
Sure. So Debbie Moore started Pineapple Dance Studios back in 1979. She came down from Manchester as a model and started dancing at what was then the Dance Centre, which was on Floral Street. And the chap who was running that was an American guy who was moving back to America. That shut down, and there was this kind of crisis of like, where are we going to go? There's literally nowhere else for them to go. She'd met all these West End stars who were rehearsing and dancing, and they were like, we've got nowhere to go. So Debbie, being a famous model, had a little bit of spare money in the bank, and went, oh, we'll find something, you know, it'll work out. And she found this empty pineapple warehouse when Covent Garden was a trading fruit and veg market. And she got the ground floor and the basement and started Pineapple. And then from then on, it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh, I always wondered why Pineapple was called Pineapple.
There you go. It's literally for pineapples.
So, for Pineapple, can you kind of tell us about what happens on a daily basis here at the studio?
Sure. So we rent out studio space. So we portion out our studio hire for regular classes and for external hires. So any given day we'll have a number of classes going on. During the day we tend to have one ballet, one jazz, one street, and then there'll be external hires from auditions to castings to rehearsals. And then in the evening, that's our kind of our peak time, and we fill all the studios with classes. So we'll have 30 classes an hour, and we'll have anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people coming in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of people.
A lot of people, yeah.
Wow.
Very busy.
And you've also got your Pineapple shop on the corner of the street.
We've got the Pineapple shop as well, selling all the branded clothing gear, so you can get all your training, fitness, dance wear from Pineapple. Come in and take Pineapple classes and join the family.
And you were telling me earlier on about you've now branched out across the globe, across the pond.
We're going global, yeah.
Is this an exclusive for Stagey Live?
I think this is an exclusive.
Wait, that's what we like to hear. Fantastic. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So it's all down to licensing and people using the Pineapple name and just trying to get Pineapple out there. And we're working with a licensing company from America who are hopefully going to launch us into Walmart and all those great American institutions.
So can I ask you about, because I always see your face at reception, what is your kind of day-to-day kind of job?
So I'm the reception manager, so I take care of all the guys behind the desk. I'm very much the kind of focal point for anyone coming into Pineapple, whether it be for meetings with Debbie or for the design team, people who are looking for studio hire or first time beginner ballet.
Sure.
You know, I'm going to be that person who's going to give you the best experience that you can have. I'm going to give you the best information that you can have.
And just after you've got cut from an audition, you've still got that smile on
Exactly,
your face.
yeah.
Come back next week for your next audition.
I'll probably just run in from a casting.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Back to the day job.
Lovely, that's what we like to hear. And so obviously you've been here for a while. Has there been any amazing clients that you've kind of come through the door, been starstruck with?
So many.
Can you drop any names that you've seen?
Madonna was a really big one.
Oh, wow.
When she came in, she filmed her hung up video in Studio One.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't actually see her come in. She kind of came in with glasses and a big kind of Swiss Pilates ball. And it wasn't until Guy Ritchie came in with the kids on his shoulder.
Right.
I went, right, okay, yeah, something's happening here today. And then Lourdes would come in and take like little Jay's class.
Sure.
Emma Watson was a really big one when she was much younger. She would come in and take class. Everyone's been here.
Wow, I was going to say I knew, but I didn't realise.
I mean, there's more. I could name drop all after me.
So I know Pineapple obviously hold a lot of dance classes here. Kind of what kind of style, level, and kind of stuff do Pineapple?
Well, we actually have, we've got 5 floors, 10 studios, 275 dance classes a week, and 125 teachers. So we've got classes from absolute beginner right up to advanced professional. You name it, we've got it. There's probably anywhere between 20 and 30 different styles of dance. I've got hip hop, jazz, ballet, tap, breakdancing, popping, locking, theatre jazz, Polynesian, hula dancing,
wow, get
rock
me in.
dancing,
Yeah.
you know, you name it, we've got it. So, and again, right from advanced professionals to absolute beginners.
And when I kind of came into that reception, there's a lot of West End posters on that wall as well. So can you tell me, do they use these studios for rehearsals, auditions, what kind of...
Absolutely. We're very fortunate that we're located right in the heart of Theatreland. We're in Covent Garden. We couldn't be in a better location, really. So all the shows will either use us for rehearsal space or audition space. We've got Lion King on our doorstep, who are here regularly, Matilda, who are here regularly, the Royal Shakespeare Company, obviously, with Matilda and things like that. And a lot of the West End shows will use us because we've got great studio facility. Sure. So you've got a big open call audition, you're going to get anywhere between 200, 250 to up to 700 people queuing up outside. A lot of the cruise ships, Disney, use us a lot as well. So everyone can come to Pineapple and watch a professional audition, jump into a professional audition. Likewise with a dance class as well. You can pay a day membership, which is just £2, and then a dance class on average is anywhere between £7 and £9. So you can come and take an advanced professional class with a leading West End performer for under £10. Wow. I don't think you can do that anywhere else.
No, absolutely, making dance accessible for everyone.
Exactly, that's what we're here for, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's everything for us today, so thank you so much. And if you ever see Giles at Pineapple, come and say good kind to him as well, please. Thank you so much.
If you've ever wondered what it's like to get filled to leave Pineapple, this is what it's like. 2 hours and 54 clicks later, we got him out. Only for him to find the Pineapple Dance Studio shop. Oh.
Love it, got it. I've got this, got it all. Oh, darling, might need a bigger size. Might need a bigger size. Love it, got enough, got it all for my audition. I'm ready.
Broadway alert! It's Ariana, DeBose, original cast member of Hamilton.
Hey!
Thank you very much for coming on to Stagey Live.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to connect with all you guys. Thanks for having me.
Lovely. Now, okay, let's jump into it. Growing up, a little bit about your life story.
Right, so a little talk through of the life of Ariana DeBose. Ooh, life and times of Ariana DeBose. I was born in Wilmington, North Carolina in 1991, so you can do the math. My mom was a single parent at the time, so we were living with my grandmother while she finished her college degree. I'm so proud of her. And then once she did that, we moved to New Bern, North Carolina, where I had started dancing in Wilmington and continued dancing once we moved to New Bern. And I met a lovely woman who ran a studio there who believed in my talent and helped financially support my dance training while we lived in New Bern, which I so appreciate. Oh, man, I was lucky. What a lucky kid. And then we moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I continued to train with Christy Curtis, who now owns CC & Company Dance Complex. And what was brilliant about my training with her in particular was she was so good about bringing in guest choreographers. So over the 4 years of my high school career, I was working with choreographers from New York and Los Angeles, many of whom were on So You Think You Can Dance, or who were choreographing all the hit music videos. A couple, like Joey Peasy had just done Chicago, the movie, so he came in and taught, and I just remember meeting so many different people, and I learned to be versatile very quickly. That was the first thing. Versatility is key. But my training also included 3 times a week I was in ballet class, because technique never goes out of style. Styles change. Technique always stays the same. So I got a great foundation and learned a bunch of different styles. it was a fierce bit of training, I do think. And then I moved to New York. Well, let me take that back. Back that up. I auditioned for So You Think You Can Dance when I was 18. I made their first and only fall season. It was season 6. And then once that ended, I thought I was going to go to school for musical theater. I went to Western Carolina for about a month and decided I didn't like it, so I moved to New York. The day I got to New York, I booked a job, and I took it as a good omen, and I stayed. And, you know, the rest of my resume sort of is the history of that. 4 Broadway shows later, here I am, talking to you.
Thank you very much. And when was the first moment that you can remember where you thought, you know what, I want to be in a smash hit musical?
You know, I don't think I had one of those light bulb moments, you know. I think a lot of people do have that moment where they realize this is what they want to do for the rest of their life. It wasn't just one thing. It was a lot of things. I had like a multitude of moments. But one of them I remember was the first time I had ever seen a Broadway show. My aunt took me and my mom to see Rent, and I was obsessed with the girl in the fierce, like, cheetah leopard coat and the blue shorts and heels. Like, I just thought she was everything, and she sang so well, and she was wild. I wanted to do that. And I remember walking outside of the theater and looking up, and there was this giant poster of BB Newirth, and she was in an ad for Chicago. And I think that was the first time that I realized people who work in theater can also work in television, because I knew BB from Frasier. I loved her on Frasier. I thought she was so sassy. But I was like, oh, she dances and sings too? That's fierce. I want to do all of that.
You made your debut in New York.
Yes, I did. I did make my New York debut with the Philharmonic and Company.
It was just littered by some absolutely amazing people in there. What was it like to begin with?
God, you're right. That was a huge, crazy, amazing room of stars. Every single person in the room I learned so much from. That was a masterclass job for me. You know what I mean? Like, I was 19. I had just finished doing Bring It On regionally at the Alliance in Atlanta. And I came back, and nobody knew what was happening with the show, what the next phase would be. So I thought, oh my God, I'm never going to work again. And I said, cheer up, kid. You gotta get up and do something about it. So I saw the audition listed on Playbill.com. And I noticed the choreographer, Josh Rhodes, was doing a production of Hairspray in my hometown that I really wanted to do. So I said, I'll go to this audition for Company, which I'm not going to get because I'm too young. And hopefully he'll remember me for Hairspray. So I went to the open call, and I kept, making it farther and farther into the process. And the next day, I got the job, and I was like, what? What? I'm going to be in a room with Patti LuPone, like Ava herself. It was amazing. I learned so much from all of those women, and I hone in on the women specifically because every single one of them had their own way of communicating in the room. They all had very specific opinions and various ways of working and creating their characters. So I learned so much by observation or through observation, and it was very influential on me at the time. And so I've tried to take so many of those things that I witnessed into my own creative process, and I use some of them now when I'm creating characters, and not just main characters, but like as an ensemble member, you have multiple characters, and you got to turn them out quick. So some of the things I saw them do, I still use for myself.
What was it like when you got the call?
I was having breakfast with a friend of mine who had come into town from North Carolina, and I answered my phone, and I was like, hello, and my agent at the time was like, girl, I don't know when you went to audition for this, but you have done booked Company at the Philharmonic. And I did a little happy squeal, and he was like, you booked that job, didn't you? And I was like, I did. And we were both just grinning. Like, there is nothing like being told yes. I get a little emotional about it because we all just want to perform. We just want to be seen. We want the opportunity to make something great. So anytime you hear the word yes after so many no's, you know what I mean? Like, it's important. Really, really, really important. So don't ever underestimate the value of a yes, because It's precious.
And what advice would you give for aspiring actors who want to get into the business?
You know, I think the most important thing I can say to you is that the business is tough. So when you're first starting out, expect great things to happen for you, but expect that it's going to be a challenge. Because every day something new is going to happen. Every day you might get another no, or you couldn't get seen for this thing, or you couldn't get seen for that thing, and you waited all day in this line, and then they decided not to see the non-equity members. So I would say you got to start building a thick skin and know that this type of success doesn't come. It doesn't come on a whim. When I first started, I did all the things. I got up at 6 a.m. I got on the train from Queens. I got my butt into Midtown. I signed on to every single non-equity list that I could find. All the lists for the equity auditions on that day. I just tried to do as much as I could. I did that for 6 months before I booked another job. You know what I mean? So it takes time. But that stuff right there, those little things, build your character because you know what it's like. You know how hard it is. Also, I would tell you to try to be as versatile as you can. I'm noticing a trend in New York is that to work on Broadway, you have to breathe fire, roller skate, have puppeteering skills, learn to cook. Can you bake a pie while you're singing? As all of that in addition to singing, dancing, acting, and potentially covering a principal. So I would just tell you to go out there and try to learn how to be the best human you can possibly be, because just the smallest human skill will inform your performance,
And if you had to point out a highlight of your career so far, what would it be?
There's always one that sticks out to me, and it's not an obvious one by any stretch of the mind, but I think it was the first time I was able to go on for leading player when I was doing Pippin. I love that show. And there was a group of young brown girls seeing the show that afternoon because it was matinee. And after the show came down, an usher friend of mine came to find me, and he said there was this group of girls, and they were watching you, and I kept hearing them say, wow, we didn't know that a girl of color could lead a show. A couple of them didn't even know that that was an option for girls of color, that there was a place for them. So just knowing that I helped expand their horizons a little bit, that's one of the biggest highlights of my career thus far. And Meryl Streep. Actually, Meryl Streep and Helen Mirren coming to see Hamilton. That was pretty dope.
I mean, let's talk Hamilton.
Hamilton. Yes, Hamilton.
Did you know from the get-go that it was going to be something pretty special?
I don't think anyone ever had a doubt that it was going to be special. No one knew that it would do what it has done. This show has become explosive. And we're all so grateful, when your work is seen in that way, when your work is helping to change the bigger conversations out in the world right now, in politics and in the general arts community. It's a big deal. So to be on the inside of it, it feels like you're on the inside of a tornado, because every day something different. There's something new going on, whether it's, another spot on television or just coming into work and we have, some people are injured and we have to make some adjustments. But it's all worth it because we all fight the Revolutionary War every night together 8 times a week and we win. And it's that little thing to know that you've won, you've done something good. We all push through for that. It's amazing. It's nothing short of amazing. It's hard to talk about because so many wonderful things have happened, and none of us ever want to seem disingenuous. People always say, "You must be so bored of hearing how great it is," but I don't think so. I think when we stop hearing how great it is, that something has gone amiss. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe we haven't done our jobs that evening. So I want to hear it. I would rather hear that than hear, it wasn't that great tonight. You know what I mean? So we love it. We love it. We love it. If it moved you, if it affected you, tell us, please.
I'm envisaging Eminem right now. I'm a bit of a lyrical gangster. I'd like to think I am. Tim, have you got a beat for me? Yeah. What? Yeah. putting on the Ritz while I rap my flow. I bust out splits anywhere that I go. Just like Aladdin, you got a friend like me. I dropped the mic, but it defies gravity. Yeah. Word to your mother. And anyone else.
That was so good. What I just heard. Magic, sir. Magic. Come audition for Hamilton.
Thank you very much. Just before we let you go, Ariana, we're asking most people what a go-to audition song is.
Funny story about my audition piece. I didn't really audition for Hamilton. I think my audition probably consisted of the 2 years that I worked with a great many members of the team on Bring It On. They sort of already knew my work, but my go-to audition song is currently Don't Make Me Over by Burt Bacharach. But I also frequently like to use I Drove All Night. You know, the Celine Dion, I drove all night. Yeah, that one. But make sure you're warm.
Well, a massive thank you for having you on today's show. You know, brilliant to have someone from an amazing show such as Hamilton. Ariana, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time too, and for dialing in.
I'm so happy to have been able to be here with you today. Thank you. Thank you for finding me and asking me. Oh my gosh. This was wonderful. And you can follow all of me on Instagram and Twitter at Ariana DeBose. Or if you just want to check out some more videos or anything of me, you can check out www.arianadebose.com. Thanks. I hope to hear from some of you soon. Ask me any and all the questions.
Give it up for Ariana, all the way from Broadway. Now it's time for a challenge. Stagey challenge.
Oh no, danger.
Students battle.
Pow, ouch. Boom, boom, wee. Pop, lip, shit,
Let the challenge begin. Balloon Stamp Challenge.
So for today's challenge, we have the balloon stamping challenge. Our first competitor is
Lucy.
And who are you representing?
I'm representing Lane.
Are you looking forward to this challenge?
I'm a bit nervous, yeah. I'm not very good with directions, so...
Do you feel like you're going to win?
Yeah.
That's what we like to hear.
And who've we got over here? What's your name and which college are you representing?
I am Jack and I'm representing Bird College UK.
Wow, okay, so you represent again. And how do you feel about today's challenge, Jack?
Really excited actually. I've been training hard and I think I'm going to take Lanes down. So yeah.
Okay, and what sort of things have you been doing to train?
Well, just stamping on a lot of balloons. Pretty much exclusively stamping on balloons. But yeah, it's been good.
First challenge ready.
Okay, and we're doing some turns. Oh, getting quite close to camera. Some lovely turning from Lucy, possibly a trained dancer. Okay, off you go, Lucy. And the clock has started. Oh, great. Wide stepping from Lucy, lovely. Very good. Not too close to the balloons at the moment. Lucy, I'm going to give you a hint. Try going left or straight on. Nope. Okay, that didn't help. And not doing great. There's no tree, Lucy. And we're at 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And your time's up, Lucy. You got no balloons.
No balloon scored. Oh, second challenge ready.
The blindfold has been placed with a double knot. The spinning's commencing. Beautiful handwork there, and we're off. Steady walking here. Flick ball changes. Ball change. Stamp. He's getting closer. He's gone over. Oh! He seems to be doing a bit of a tap dance. He's just there, but not quite getting the balloon. And that's it. Time's up.
1 balloon scored. Time to do the maths and crown the champion.
Wow, what an exciting challenge. We had a pretty close score, but in the end it was 1-0 to Jack. Well done, Jack. How do you feel?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, brilliant.
Great. Okay, Lucy, commiserations. So for Jack, what prize do we have?
A marshmallow. Enjoy.
Great. And Lucy, unfortunately, you are going to have to eat the lemon. Oh dear, here we go. Yep, you have to do it now. Well done, Lucy. Great. It's fruit, it's one of your 5 a day. Okay, fantastic. Well done both of you, and join us next time for another challenge.
So, Tim, we made it through another episode unscathed. Thank you very much for joining us again. Tim, what were your thoughts on that? Brilliant. Again, we've got some wonderful guests coming up. A big thank you for all of those who took the time out to come and have a chat to us. Remember, you can follow the journey at Stagey Live. So, the only thing left to say is, oh, what a beautiful morning.